It's August 9th, 1969. Superstar Sharon Tate is home alone. Her husband, Roman Polanski, is away filming his latest movie. It's late at night and she's just come back from a dinner party with her friends, actress Tate Sebring and coffee heiress Abigail Folger. They're all relaxing in the house when suddenly they hear noises outside. Someone is trying to get into the house by prying open a window. But that's strange because all the windows and doors are locked. Whoever it is must be getting in through the basement. As Sharon creeps downstairs to check, two intruders appear at the top of the stairs. They're both young men with vacant expressions on their faces. But before Sharon can react, one of them pulls out a knife and tells her, "Don't make any sudden moves or I'll cut your heart out." The second attacker takes a gun from his accomplice and points it directly at Sharon. She's horrified, but tries to keep her cool. The first attacker then does something that confuses Sharon. He walks past her and starts rummaging through some drawers. Maybe he's not here to hurt her after all. Maybe this is a robbery. Then the man turns around and reveals a horrifying grin. "No, dollface," he says, "we're gonna kill you." And he lunges for her with the knife. When the police arrive at the house the next morning, they're confronted with a truly gruesome sight. Sharon Tate, along with her friends, Tate Sebring, Abigail Folger, and Polish movie director Wojciech Janov, have all been stabbed and shot multiple times. But that's not all. There's also a bizarre scene playing out in front of them. The attackers had written the words "pig" and "helter-skelter" on the walls, and one of the corpses was hanging from the ceiling fan like a macabre piñata. Who could have done such a thing, and why? What twisted mind could have concocted such a horrific massacre? This is a special double-feature episode on the haunting legacy of the Manson family murders. Part 1, airing now, and Part 2, airing next week. So if you've already watched this episode, and you want to hear more about the Manson family murders, then make sure to stay tuned and hit the notification bell so you do not miss Part 2. Otherwise, let's dive right in. As word of Sharon Tate's gruesome murder spread throughout Hollywood, fear and paranoia gripped the entertainment industry. Rumors began to swirl about who could have possibly committed such a brutal crime. Director Samuel Fuller, who had worked with Tate on the film The Naked Kiss, immediately suspected her former lover, actor Tate Sebring. After all, Sebring had been present at the party and had even given Tate a black eye a few weeks prior. Or perhaps it was the work of the Italian mafia. Tate's husband, Roman Polanski, had made enemies with the mob while working on the film The Fearless Vampire Killers, which had been produced by Italian company Dino De Laurentiis. Or maybe it was the work of a jealous ex. Before marrying Polanski, Tate had been engaged to controversial figure and suspected mobster, the late Harry Reams. But none of these theories could have been further from the truth. The real culprit was someone who was much closer to Tate than anyone could have imagined. Enter Charles Manson, a charismatic yet deeply disturbed cult leader who had assembled a group of loyal followers known as the Manson family. But despite his lack of criminal record, Manson had an eerie premonition that he would soon be behind bars. Just days before the Tate murders, he told his close friend, African-American stuntman, "I think they're going to put me in jail for 25 years for something I'm going to have to do." But what exactly did Manson have planned that would land him in prison for a quarter of a century? Manson believed that the world was on the verge of a race war that he dubbed Helter Skelter, taken from a Beatles song, which he mistakenly believed predicted the apocalyptic event. To kickstart the war, Manson devised a plan to frame the Black Panthers for a series of high-profile murders, which would ignite racial tensions and plunge the country into chaos. His plan involved killing a number of prominent white celebrities, which he believed would provoke the African-American community to retaliate against whites. And who better to carry out these murders than his own family, a group of devoted followers who would do anything for their enigmatic leader. One of the most trusted members of the Manson family was Susan Atkins, a former model and aspiring actress who had joined the cult in 1967. Atkins had quickly risen through the ranks and had become one of Manson's closest confidants. Another key member was Linda Kasabian, a young mother of two who had met Manson while hitchhiking. Kasabian was drawn to the cult's message of free love, and Manson's magnetic personality, and quickly became an integral part of the group. Patricia Krenwinkel, a former waitress and topless dancer, was also among the inner circle of the Manson family. Krenwinkel was known for her cold-heartedness and sadistic tendencies, and would play a crucial role in carrying out the Tate murders. Manson carefully selected his lieutenants for their unwavering loyalty and willingness to do his bidding. But who were the unsuspecting victims he chose for his heinous plot? Among the most prominent targets was Sharon Tate, a rising star in Hollywood who Manson believed would help kickstart his race war. Tate had unwittingly crossed paths with Manson in the past, and he had formed a deep-seated resentment towards her, convinced that she had mocked him. This resentment would eventually boil over and lead to the horrific events of August 9, 1969. Another victim of the Manson family was Abigail Folger, a wealthy coffee heiress who was dating Jay Sebring at the time of her death. Manson had developed a particular hatred for Folger's father, Max, and he saw her as a way to get back at him. Then there was Jay Sebring himself, a successful hairdresser and close friend of Tate. Manson had long suspected that Sebring had stolen money from Tate, and he used this grudge as a way to justify his murder. Finally, there was Wojciech Frykowski, a Polish-born screenwriter and director who was romantically involved with Folger. Frykowski had no idea he was on Manson's hit list until the fateful night of the murders. With his targets in place, Manson set his plan in motion. On the night of August 8, 1969, he sent several members of his family to stake out the Tate residence, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. When the time was right, they would barge into the house and carry out Manson's gruesome orders, ensuring that the killings would be as brutal and senseless as possible. But did Manson really order the murder of Sharon Tate? We'll find out in Part 2, only available to subscribers. Click the link in the description below to subscribe now, and if you'd like more true crime stories, then check out our other videos. With that said, see you next week for Part 2.